Okay, I hit start streaming. Let's see if this... Okay.
Oh god, we're live already?
We're live already. You don't even get a break. It's like we're just doing it.
I haven't finished my burger.
You're good. I was eating a fruit snack, so... You know.
Excellent.
Fruit snacks at 10:30 p.m. in the good old US of A. Alright, I'm trying to stall here to see if you guys show up because I said I'd be here at 10:30 and I don't see any of you. So hopefully you're around. But we'll start talking anyway, whether you are or not. Anyway.
I opened the stream to see if yours was working and I heard myself complaining about my own burger, so that's good to know. It freaked me out a little bit.
Oh, we got somebody here who says you must eat the burger.
I've been muting myself in between, trust me.
Nah, we're good.
Hungry Jack's puts on a mean feed if you ever come out here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I have never heard of Hungry Jack's, so now I'm intrigued.
It's Burger King.
It's Burger King. It's not Wendy's?
It's Burger King. No, it's straight up Burger King, but they lost a lawsuit because there was already a place called Burger King in Australia.
Oh.
The funny part, no one's ever seen it.
So it doesn't
no one
really
knows
exist.
Where this place is.
That's amazing. You need to send me a picture of Hungry Jack's.
Oh, I got you.
All right, put that on the Discord because I got to see the logo. All right, so we know Monster's here. I hope Mitch is around. Oh, here's Habob Gob. Let's see.
Say his full name, damn it.
JJ's here. All right, cool. People are coming in.
I don't know who Monster Dong 420 is, but I've seen him show up in some really obscure places online for Sumo.
Oh,
and I'm happy to have him around.
Oh, he's the best. And he's really good at Guess the Bonzake. He's like in the top. And yes,
he's better than me.
This is the Burger King logo. This is insane. Okay, well. Oh, there's Mitch.
Hungry Jack's is straight up Burger King, but they've eventually flipped it and it's kind of become its own thing.
Oh. Well, I guess
they still sell Whopper.
They still sell a Whopper. I feel like that's a very Australian thing. A Whopper. I don't know.
Let's get a Whopper, mate.
Yeah, it fits.
Skis it easy.
Much more so than I never go to Burger King. I don't really care for it. I'm a Wendy's person.
The logo though. Here's the thing. From what I've heard, Burger King is poo poo, but Hungry Jack's is like the best.
Okay, so it's Burger King if it was good.
Aside from like the artisanal places like Burger Urge, where there's only like 2 restaurants like that, Burger King is the best.
Huh. This is fascinating.
Hi, welcome to Sumo.
Yeah, we really are going to talk about Sumo, but I was giving you guys a chance to come in, and you're here, and you're ready to talk Sumo too. Monster says, I already have a pizza, so I can't have a burger tonight, but I would make a burger if I didn't have the pizza. And then he said Burger King sucks.
Yeah, you're also not doing a live show. I can ruin it for everyone. Watch this.
Okay. Mitch is ready to get started. He has hot dogs. JJ says burger.
I'm being polite right now.
So apparently there's lots of opinions. So let me get this started. I'll go down some of the things that happened. I'm going to ask you lots.
How many are there?
Lots of questions for you. See what your opinions are. Okay, so the first thing I caught today was Wakataka Kage versus Hakuhoho. I was really worried about Wakataka Kage, and maybe I should still be worried about him. But he's looking really good all of a sudden, and Hakuhoho is looking very injured, which means I don't know if he's going to be the great hope that I had put all of my hopes and dreams on. What are your thoughts?
Are we just looking at the Torikumi?
Well, we're basically, I pick the matches I want to talk about. So, like, I picked one Jurio match. Then I go through other matches of note. Then we go over who's in the lead for the playoff, for the Yusha race. But I'll ask you questions in between, so.
Got it.
Anyway, speaking of that, so how are you feeling about Wakataka Kage's recovery?
Needs more time off, but he looks good. 6-1 is pretty comfortable. Beat Hakuoho. That's probably his toughest fight. Beat Shimazu That's always a difficult one. That'd have been another tough fight. Lost to Kageaki, which deeply upset me.
That was strange.
Kirinawaka and Shishi. He's collecting wins that matter, so that's good for him.
And what about Hakuoho? How's he looking to
Washed,
you?
washed, will be
I
forgotten.
I heard he heard something pop. So
I
that's not good.
don't I don't watch Juria,
I don't
not out of
typically.
like anger or anything. I'm just at work when it's on, so I
Gotcha.
can't watch Juria.
Gotcha.
So I got no clue what's going on, and then I'm getting my information third hand through people that got it translated. Like one of my favorite things I keep
Ah.
seeing is Ozeki is closed to talk
What?
about the people who are out. The articles that are getting translated, they say the Ozeki is Karaban. It translates to Ozeki is closed.
I
So
see.
every bit of information that I get is gone through some rigorous process of Chinese whispers and Google Translate.
Gotcha.
So when I hear Hakuoho heard something pop, no clue what that means. Don't trust it either.
Gotcha. All right. Well, now we're gonna go into the main matches. I'm only gonna go over the ones that I felt something about. So Oshoma's doing pretty good this tournament, but I really felt like Hokuto Fuji just sort of put the rookie in his place today. I think he, kind of had a chip on his shoulder, and he took him out like it was nothing. And we know that
Oh, for sure.
Hokuto Fuji's not in the best of shape these days, so it was kind of comical to me to be like, "Hey, little guy, let me show you. You're not as tough as you think you are."
Need to learn to circle around more, idiot.
Yeah, don't just try to
So
take on a tank head on.
you stood in front of Hokuto Fuji, and guess what happened?
You get knocked out. So, Shonana Umi is finally looking good. We've been saying for, at least a year that this guy should be great, and something weird happened to him and he just like stopped fighting, but now he's back in it and he's looking pretty good. I mean, what would you say is his style of sumo?
Hang on, I should have bedtime.
I mean, I don't know. He's kind of a puller, which I never
Sorry, I'm embarrassed.
noticed.
I completely forgot what you just asked me. Where are we?
We're on Shonana Umi.
Shonanumi.
What is his
Shonanumi.
what is his actual style of sumo?
Be bigger than people
And Paul?
and walk forward with a low frame, and it seems to be working. The problem is he gets outclassed. There was one match. Let's see if I can remember who it was. Was it Tamawashi Kota Shoho? I think one match against. Here it is. Where he very intentionally kicked the guy's leg out, and that's the most impressive thing I've ever seen. They were sitting sideways in that classic Uwatanage kind of pose, and then he just went boop and got him out. Because
Yeah.
he's throwing his leg in the direction of outside the ring. That's a scary move to make. So things like that give me a lot of hope for him. Seeing it at 6-1, apologies, give me a lot of hope for him. He's up against Bataki Yume tonight. That's scary.
Well, speaking of which, he's the next guy I have notes on. So Mitake Yumi started this tournament off like he was going to win this one. Like you could smell the blood in the water. Like all the top guys are screwed right now. So this is my chance to be the guy. But the loss to Shodai today is the kind of loss that crushes his tournaments. I mean, every once in a while, Shodai shows up and Mitake Yumi was giving him everything he had and he still lost. So I don't know. I'm hoping it's just a minor setback, but these are the kind of things that make Mitake Yumi fall apart. But
Well, he beat Takanosho, Midori Fuji, Onosho, and Mesa. Those are some big names to beat. And if he can do that, he's looking pretty healthy. The problem is it's Ura and Shodai. So
yeah.
it's only 2 losses.
Yeah, I know.
13-2 is still possible.
Oh, I agree. It's just will he it's like he's got some Shodai in him too where it's like sometimes he gives up at the edge all of a sudden. That's not what happened today, but I don't know. There's something not quite right with Mitake Yumi.
We were talking about him being his best self that I've seen in a while.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I find people tend to get a little too caught up with the losses and talk about things too early in sumo, which isn't a problem. Being reactive is very natural. But the issue when I first noticed this was when Tamawashi went 2-13, and everyone said it's over, he's done. He's still here. He's still getting kachikoshis.
he
He can just
was
have a bad one sometimes.
he can still rip your head right off your neck.
Good news, I'm done with the burger
That is good news.
and
There are
the chips, so I'm ready to be professional.
great. So let me just give you kind of. I'm gonna go through all these notes. We'll talk about them, and then we got to read. I'll read the chat. There's so much chat, so we'll get to it. But
So far,
anyway,
all I've got is Monster Dong 420 says he pulls, which I'm happy he's happy, but I'm so lost on what that means.
Monster really likes pull sumo wrestlers that pull, so that's exciting for him.
But before I continue this, how do you feel about sumos that pull?
Well, I was really down on it until
Uh,
until Monster keeps pointing it out, and now I'm finding it somewhat humorous. It's not my style for
okay,
sure,
good.
but it is humorous. I mean, we talked about the whole,
Because
the whole Hanka thing. If it's funny, then it's good, and maybe you could put that with pulling as well. Like if you
that hurts
lose,
my pride a little bit.
listen, if you
Because what I
lose,
found out in Keiko is that pulling in sumo and spinning around is what I'm really good at. It's
well,
just with picking up, working with my hands. I'm always pulling stuff towards me. That's just how I've been training my body for the last 10 years. So that's where I find a lot of my strength in my sumo. Karatsukashi seem to be something I'm capable of. And, 6'1" man doing Karatsukashi is strange and not expected.
well, yeah, but so then you must be for the pull then, if that's something.
I'm about it.
Okay.
I like pulling.
Well, sorry for calling it humorous, but I do find pulling to be very humorous. It's just
I forgive you.
all right. Let's get back on track here, so we can read all these crazy comments. So Meisei is having a solid basho, but it's so understated. I think that's Meisei. Like he's not doing the flashy thing. He's just coming in, winning his matches, working hard, and just staying way under the radar. And he's right there. It's so early, as you said. I never even do live streams this early usually, but he's going to be interesting to see what he does in the next couple days.
It's oh god, I've lost everything. It's only day 8.
Yes.
No one's even gone. No one's even gone Kachikoshi yet. No one can go Kachikoshi. So don't hold your breath. There's still a whole week ahead of us.
Hey, the whole reason I'm even doing this is so that we can chat about things that, we're going to completely change in like 2 days. So,
Exactly. If you've watched any episode of Salt City Sumo, you know that JJ and I make the boldest possible predictions and watch it completely crumble in front of us. I mean, like, I think Meisei is really strong. He's a really good pusher. I think a guy kind of like Nishikigi who's not been doing too well. And then you just watch the exact opposite as Meisei gets bowled backwards by someone who doesn't push. It's like, well,
I do not know what I'm talking about, apparently.
there's people who come to us for our opinion, and that scares me.
Well, that's the thing, though. I mean, opinions are just opinions. You can't weight them too much.
You can have a lot of them, from what I've heard.
Many, many. So, speaking of pulling, so Gonayama today pulls against a guy who just, his whole, Ono Show's whole thing is just pushing you out of the ring. It was like, you just helped him. He didn't need your help. You just helped him escort you right out of the ring. So my question is, did he make a foolish move, or is he already gassed? Because my biggest question for Gonoyama has always been, is his conditioning up to fighting for 15 days?
Gunyama, I believe so. He went 10-5. Oh no, actually, excellent point. This is gonna break your heart a little bit.
Oh no.
The last Basho of 2023, 8-7, 1 Fusen. Goes to M3 the next Basho, 5-10, 1 Fusen. Drops down N6, 10-5, 2 Fusen. He's only 3-4 right now. This Basho, his second win was a Fusen.
That's pretty common.
Since joining halfway through last year, only 2 basho has he not had a Fusen. He gets breaks like no one else.
Wow.
He gets
It,
time off like no one else.
yeah, yeah.
So you might be onto something. His conditioning might not actually be there.
That's what I'm thinking. And I don't know what it takes to like for him to drastically change it, but he should try. I'm just going to say that. Cuz he's a pretty powerful guy and it seems like people are, they get riled up for a match with him and then you see these matches like today and it's like he looks tired.
You're
It's
doing my head in, but don't stop. It is 1 in the afternoon, and you keep talking about today's match. It's doing my head in.
I'm sorry. I know. I'm sorry. For me it is 10
Don't
something p.m.
don't
I'm
change
not
yourself. Keep going. I just have to adapt.
well, this whole like you being in a whole other day thing is throwing me. All right. We're going to get through this list. Okay, so Daisho is not playing around. He's definitely smells blood in the water.
Daisho
Hiraomi
said vengeance.
Hiraomi is, really fiery this tournament, and Daisho just like wrecked him. And I'm like, he doesn't even want to talk to you. He's gonna send you flying. I think he's got his eye on the prize, and I think he's a little agitated about getting kicked out of the Sanyaku, considering how everybody's not even in this tournament, pretty much. So we might get the revenge
To
of
be
Daisho.
fair, I don't see Hirodumi ever winning that matchup, despite him doing it literally last Basha. But they have the same style,
Yeah.
and Daisho is bigger and stronger and better. Like Hirodumi's at his career high of M2.
Mm-hmm.
Daisho's trying to get back to Sekewake.
Yeah.
It's like that guy's just better than him in every way.
Eh.
And aside from that one time he beat him, I don't see him beating him.
Well, yeah.
Except for that one time he beat him.
There's always that one time. No, I mean, that's a fair point. Daisho just is so much better that he just made himself look amazing. But I still feel like there's some extra oomph in his step. I'm waiting for that surprise, that guy to come out of the woodwork. Because I'm not convinced, it's still early, that our next guy is necessarily going to pull it off. And that would be Onosato. Truth be told,
I'm glad you said it because I did if you didn't.
Onosato.
I have never seen a more next guy than Onosato.
I know. It's kind of crazy. And he comes in during the time where there's a lot of hype men. We've seen a couple of waves of the hype. And even last Basho, he got overshadowed a tiny bit because of how crazy everything was. But he's the real deal. He better keep himself healthy or I'm going to just flip a table. But he's got...
Yeah, it's kind of insane how a second ever top division at M5 11-4 John Yusho, where he beat Daisho and Abi and Takekeisho and Wakamoto Haru, got overshadowed.
Yeah.
That is insane. That wasn't the story of the Basho.
Right. He was completely forgotten about. And then he has this little scandal thing, and then they made him go hide in a corner. He wasn't allowed to talk to anybody. And it's like maybe he's allowed to come out now because he's the guy. Like, guys, he's the guy.
Arrested for hanging out with the boys.
Yep.
So a shame.
A year ago. These things come out when they want to come out. But he's got power, skill, and a great ring sense. I mean, what he did to Tommy Fuji today, what he did to Tommy Fuji today was like...
You kind of say angrier at me and then apologize. That doesn't change anything.
I can't help it. I'm like delirious from tiredness.
Don't change. You're beautiful the way you are.
We're on the opposite right now. Like, you just did a workout and you're like in the middle of your day, and I've just spent my whole day just... doing all sorts of things.
I didn't want to say it, but I'm in bed right now.
That's correct.
I've had a mean feed after training. I am chill.
Well, anyway, Onosato basically robbed a Tommy Fuji today, and it was beautiful. That was all thanks to the ring sense. If you look at a Tommy Fuji's record, it does not reflect how good he's been fighting or the tough matches he's been in. I kind of feel bad for the guy, but today Onosato just like turns sideways and just sort of, gets him out at the edge, and it's like, tough luck, man. Tough luck. This is the new guy. He's got that Goedo thing in him, but he's almost like better than Goedo. Maybe that's a wrong thing to say, but he's like a better
New
version of his
Goedo.
coach. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm
It's
sorry. Go ahead.
Tommy Fuji's presence is like people talking about him like he's fallen off or something when it's his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 top division basho, and he
Yeah.
went 8-7 at M2. It's like, this guy doesn't have what it takes. No, that's because like the ceiling is so ridiculous right now. You can't take the Undertaker coming in and breaking a 60-year-old record and
Right.
assume that's the average. That's a 60-year-old record that got broken.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
insane.
And Tommy Fuji's standing up there like he's been fighting for 10 years. You
Yeah,
know?
who did he beat last time? Because he's got some wins under his name. Kirishima, Takekeisho, Asanoyama, Ura, I guess.
Ura's
Like he's beaten some guys he should not be beaten this early.
Yeah, I completely agree. And that's kind of the shallow.
Takayasu, Hoshoryu, Onosho, I guess Ryuden, Mitaki Yume. There's some big names he's beaten.
Right. It's sort of like the shallow sumo fan who looks at the record and says, "Oh, he's not as good because he's not in the Yusho race." Like, watch the matches, man. Just like chill out. So,
It's like only one guy gets to win it, and there's at least 42 of them up here.
exactly. Like, it's kind of, there's only the strongest survive. So, Tommy Fuji, unfortunately, is going through the gauntlet, and it's a little rough. So, speaking of a little rough, this is a big topic. We're going to have to talk about it. Kirishima is out. And now I want to talk about him specifically, but I'm also going to pull this thing up because, I mean, this tournament is shaping up to be just the worst for injuries. This is the worst I've seen in a while, and I wasn't expecting that for May. It kind of sucks. But
there was that one with Aoyama, I think, when he pulled out. But I think this might be worse as far as like weight behind the names go.
right, it's all like top guys, guys that we
Yeah.
expected to do something, and all at the same
There's
time.
3 Sanyaku right now.
Yeah, so if we look at this absent thing, we got Kirishima, Wakamoto Haru, Takayasu, Terunofuji, Takakeisho, and we have Takeru Fuji, which obviously was kind of a surprise, but not really. I mean, he obliterated his ankle. Who thought he was really coming back? But you see him win the U show, and it's like, what a disappointment that is.
He got wheeled out in the hospital.
I know.
There's a photo of him in a wheelchair. It's like, oh, what was that? Day 14. He had a match after that.
I know.
The fact that he's wrestling at all is insane. It's like, give me a week off before I go have a legacy career, please. It's like, all you, homie.
Right? Hopefully he gets that all straightened out. But so Kirishima is now no longer going to be an Ozeki. That was pretty quick. I mean,
It's we haven't seen that in a while, have we?
No, because it's either like the Shodai Mitakayumi thing, where like, I don't know, we've seen it with Shodai Mitakayumi for sure, but this feels different.
Yeah.
This feels way different. Because Kirishima is just so talented, but I mean, these guys are getting roughed up. I honestly,
Mitakayumi dropped out with an injury. Probably came back too early because he went 4-11.
Yes, that's true.
And then since then he's had some, and there was some other stuff. Like he in the middle of a bar show, his dad died and things like that, and that completely messes you up mentally.
Right.
So, but he's been clawing it back, and he's had his best career start since his U show.
Right.
So, like, shades of the old Mitakayumi starting to be there.
Well, I mean, do we think Kirishima's going to be able to Ozeki Wake himself back into the rank, or is he toast?
I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with him. It looks like he doesn't care anymore. and
Well,
he's losing matches he really shouldn't. And I don't know how big a deal his injury is. There's
well,
too much information that's missing for me to understand the situation.
well, the official injury was a spinal cord injury. Sounds pretty bad.
The official translation of that injury?
No, actually, the English broadcast said spinal cord injury.
Ah, right. That's a much bigger deal.
Yeah, I what it sounds like is like Takakeisho. I don't know how Takakeisho is still alive. He first hurt himself in the neck, and it has now somehow become a full spinal injury.
Look,
So,
a rested, recovered Kirishima can pick up 10 wins. Like, I'm
mhm.
looking at M4 and M2, he goes 10-5, 10-5. I'm looking at Komusubi, he goes 11-4. And his Sekewaki run, 12-3 Yusho, 11-4. That puts him on Ozeki. At Ozeki, he goes 9-6 and then 13-2 Yusho and then 11-4.
Mm.
So if everything's right, easy 10 wins. He can get there, no stress.
Okay. So we
The
gotta.
current looking guy, I don't know, man.
Yeah, he does not look good. That's for sure. That is definitely for sure. I'm just gonna say, and there's no Takakeisho haters here, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I'm just saying, Takakeisho's been doing this for years, fighting with a broken neck and
That's what
still keeping the Ozeki.
exactly.
So,
That's what surprises you when you see he's dropped off like this, because we've seen
mhm.
Takakeisho and Shodai come back from it so many times.
Right,
It's
that
like
you
the first time he goes Kadoban, he's out.
exactly. It doesn't seem like it's the way it should be, but injuries are the worst. So now we're gonna get to. We only got two more notes because there's so many hurt guys in the top. Then we'll talk about who's kind of doing their thing, and then we got a ton of comments here. So Ura is a madman, and I absolutely love it. He went at Koto
The gift
Zakura.
from outer space.
Yes, he went at Koto Zakura like they were the same size. And without any sort of hesitation or fear, it was like, no, I'm going to win this. And he got overpowered. But hey, it's like you don't care if Ura wins or loses. It's still a great match. And here the man is. He was undefeated at the time. Like, I would throw the most massive party that's ever existed if Ura won the Yusho. It would have to be. I'd have to, like, pull people off the street and say, hey, we're having a party. Because that would be the best thing to ever happen.
The Urizen show was so real for a while.
I know. I wish I could go back in time already.
And look at 6-1. It's still kind of
Oh,
not the Zen show, but the U show is still possible, man.
yeah. It is. It absolutely is. And this kind of tournament is the one where we get some out in left field Yusho winner. I'm calling it now.
If you saw that Rogan match, I think 2 days ago, what I believe has happened is that the spirit of Ura has just contaminated the rest of the basho. He's finally thrown just the right amount of salt in there. And that's why Roga has that one match that had 3 coast to coast and then 2 full spin arounds before someone got thrown out.
That was fun. Ura is bringing the fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Churna Umi's got a little bit of that pulling thing going too.
So I think Ura has said no fun, just wins, and the fun has had to go somewhere else. I believe that's what happened.
I believe it, because Ura's starting to look a little bit more serious now, for sure. Speaking, okay, so this actually angers me.
Debut? I gotta see that.
What about Tobizaru?
Apparently Tobizaru's debut was lit.
we got
11-4 Kanto show.
I'm sure that really upsets Mitch. Please make a comment about this, Mitch. Mitch is
11-4 Kanto show. Shodai wins it with a 13-2. So he was looking pretty serious right up until day 14, where he lost to Takakeisho and Shodai back to back.
Oh, jeez. And then ever since, Tobizaru has actually been a problem for Takakeisho. Definitely not a guarantee win. So our last match to discuss is the Oho Hoshiryu match. Honestly, it pissed me off because I really want good things for Hoshiryu, and it's fallen apart. And Oho is just in his head, and It's like if Oho could fight like that every match, I would like him. But right now, I'm just kind of pissed that he beat my guy, and he's probably going to suck the rest of the tournament. But maybe that's a bit negative. Your thoughts?
For the longest time, I thought Oho stinks. I watched him go 5'10" at M7. I watched him go 6'9" at M6. Then he drops down. It's like, oh, M12, 8'7". It's like, this guy stinks. He's not his grandpa. Get
Uh
him out
huh.
of here. And then I watched him beat Terunofuji. And then I watched him beat Hoshoryu. And I'm not ready to admit that he might be good. It kind of hurts me inside.
Well, I
But he's
wanted.
picking up some big name wins.
Well, it's almost like he's working on something. Like if he could just channel whatever it is he does when he sees Hoshoryu, he could actually be a really good fighter. But
Yeah, his defensive game is really strong. He's able to not get rattled and stay on top of things when other people would have crumbled. He's really using that size of his to his advantage.
why do you think he doesn't do it all the time?
Because he is 24 and has not been in top division for too long. I don't think we've seen prime Oho yet.
Okay, that's fair. I would say a late bloomer though, because Takakeisho at 21
Yeah,
winning a U show. Just saying. Just saying.
yeah. Terunofuji didn't make Ozeki until Yokozuna until 28.
Right, but that's because
Yeah,
Terunofuji was actually Ozeki, got crushed by
the
the
injury,
knee,
true.
the injury, and the diabetes. And so, like, he would have been
Oh,
Yokozuna way sooner if his body
well,
didn't
I'm
fall
sure I can
apart.
find a better example than that, but you get what I'm trying to say.
I
Sometimes
do.
it takes a while to really develop.
I do.
Hoshoryu, for example, kind of found his ceiling pretty early.
Yeah. Hoshoryu, when he first came in, like, he was kind of toying around at the bottom and just slowly getting his 8 and 7s. And then once he got to Sanyaku, it was like, okay, now I'm serious.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Okay, so this doesn't matter at all right now because it's so early, but I'm going to say it anyway. The 6 and 1s are Onosato, Daisho, Ura, Shonana Umi, and Takara Fuji. We can tell by the last two names that this list is going to change. We might still maintain Onosato, Daisho, and Ura, but likely this is going to look very different in 3 days' time. And this might be another one of those 12 and 3 or 11 and 4 tournaments, unless Onosato just beats everybody and then it's night night.
Which is real, which is a real possibility.
It is a real
It's
possibility. It is.
Onosato is scary good.
Yeah, he is. He really is. All
Oh,
right.
we quoted like Wakamoto Haru, Kobizar. That's what he's beat so far. Every one of
Uh,
those names means something.
well, it was wild because I'm like, wow, we're seeing like some matches that I feel like could be week 2 matches already. And Onosato's just taking
Oh,
care of business.
the feeling I had when I watched yesterday's match against Atami Fuji, where it's like, oh, this is like match 1 of like a 10-year rivalry, huh?
Uh-huh.
This is like Mitakeumi Shodai right now, what we're watching.
I know. It is a beautiful thing to like think about the future of these guys fighting again and again for something like the U show or for Ozeki promotion.
Yeah. As someone who's only been watching for like 2 years, that's kind of something I find really interesting about being a lifelong fan of this. Where it's like Terunofuji was already Yokozuna when he showed up. So to me, he's always been a Yokozuna. I've never
Ah.
seen someone climb to get there.
Oh,
I've never seen the whole process.
yeah, you missed the Tochinoshin days too. That was pretty special.
I saw the Twilight years, and there was some fun there.
Yeah, he was
I
still
saw him
fun.
just about. I saw him just about kill Midori Fuji once and just dig his shoulder into his chest.
Yeah. Poor Midori Fuji. Every time he had to fight him, it's like, oh, this isn't going to go well. You missed him fighting. Did you ever see Enho fight?
Yes, I got to see brief glimpses of him in Jurio.
Ah, so you
Um,
missed Enho fighting Tochinoshin. You must.
I've seen him get picked up, as Hiro Moita said, like a baby. Which might be the most insulting thing I've ever heard a commentator say, because that was genuine. That wasn't him trying to be funny.
Yeah,
He meant that.
That was probably like the end of Enho's career right there. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna take a break. Sticks.
I don't belong here, man.
All right, I gotta get through these comments because there's a lot of them. So I'm gonna rapid fire through them and then we'll go from there. Okay, let's see.
Got it.
Some of they're commenting while we're talking, so we're just gonna rush through them. Okay. Did anybody see the Kisei Beta burger where a Kiseyama eats a 2.5 kilogram burger? No, but that sounds
You
very
say burger?
interesting. Yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about this basho, but I have a lot of opinions. Common Akiseyama W. That sounds like a thing Akiseyama would do. Mitch is saying good morning. Hi, Tim.
Good morning.
Zooey Mama, Purple Cow. Is Purple Cow one of your people?
Yes, that is Hayden from Dallas Sumo Club, one of the amateur sumo champions. He's a big deal.
Howdy, Purple Cow. Thank you for coming by. I know that Monster thinks Burger King sucks. Mitch wanted to get the party started. Okay. I want to spew opinions as well, but I know I gotta let Maria get through the bullet points first. You know me so well. Spoon Thief, I know, is your guy. BK is trash, but I am a possum and I love trash.
I'm like 60% sure Spoon Thief is a federal agent as well. Be careful around him.
Okay, I won't say anything too sketchy then.
He showed up out of nowhere and was incredibly accommodating and has been helping us and trying to work his way in. And it's like, I don't remember the time without you, and now it's all you. So,
oh boy. Okay. Well, maybe
but
that's a good thing.
Until that inevitable moment, we do love him.
Okay. We love you, Spoon Thief. Thank you for coming by. Habob Gab says, Haku Oho bicep not very good. Monster says, there's a lot to talk about in Jurio. Very exciting. I don't care if it's only a week. I'm going to talk about the promotion picture today because there's a lot to say. That's kind of your thing. That's why you're good at Guess the Bonds, okay? Mitch says, I have my vote for favorite bout of the tournament locked in already. That Tamashoho versus Shishi match was freaking amazing. I didn't see that match.
Who won?
Yeah, Mitch, give us...
I hate Shishi.
You hate Shishi?
He stinks. He's the most overhyped guy I've ever seen.
Well,
everyone was cheering for him, and he's beaten no one.
Well, maybe we have to see this Shishi Tamashoho match.
And he lost to Tamashoho. I like that match too.
I gotta see it. I didn't see that one. I hope Waka doesn't drop in the second week like last time. Well, that's gonna all have to do with whether or not he actually is healed enough to even be out there, because he really did come back way too soon. So
comes down to the injury. He's one of the few guys that does have 16 matches in him. Very few people in sumo have been able to do that.
That's a very good point. I mean, I'm so mad about that injury because I feel like he's just such a talented guy. I felt Yokozuna vibes from him, but now who knows?
Watching him take a flying elbow from Takayasu while on the ropes already, and his legs didn't buckle, is maybe the toughest thing I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
So he will always have my love for that moment.
Let's hope he can. Let's hope he can come back in and throw a couple elbows of his own. And now
would be nice.
We have some Jurio notables. This is what Monster does. He likes to talk about other Jurio guys. So let's see. Kiri Yuko. Oh, I can't read this very good. Shima Naomi is 6-1. We're going to come back to this. Okay. Spoon Thief says, Monster, there's only like 3 people left alive in the Joey, so promotion should be somewhat easy.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, it's not. And it's so early. Ozeki only opens 7 to 11. I don't know what that means. Oh, is this referring to the whole Kirishima Kadoban close?
So we got Wakamoto Hara is currently negative, and Kirishima is dropping to Sekiwake. Asanoyama hasn't even shown up. So Onosato just needs 2 more wins for Sekiwake guaranteed. Abi hasn't gone positive yet. So it's Onosato and Kirishima Sekiwake guaranteed.
Huh. Wow. Well,
And then
let's.
there's Daisho on 6-1.
Yeah, let's. Yeah, let's just
That's
call it
weird.
now. It sounds like it's all set. And Monster said, "You guys are the ones who decided to talk about Juro early. I know. I'm going to come back to it, only because it's actually hard to read in this particular window that I'm in. Let me come back to it, I promise." Habab Gab says, "Hokuto Fuji, Toki Hayate, Koto Shoho are all rallying." That's true. You know, I don't know what's going on with Koto Shoho, but he seems like he came up with some answers today. But can he put two matches together in a row? I have no clue. He's a little disappointing. I'm gonna say it. He should be better than he is. I don't know what's wrong with him. And hello, Stargazer.
I missed you.
I knew he always had it in him. This is where we talked about pulling. Shonan Umi seems to have adjusted properly to the people he is fighting and learned. It doesn't look to me like he has honed his skill so much as he is now more studied on his opponents. That's an interesting point. That could be exactly the kind of guy that he is. And then Mitch says, "I think Shodai is fulfilling the prophecy that I draft for him every basho. He will end up with somewhere between 1 and 14 wins." Yeah, that's true. Don't bet anything on Shodai ever. Just don't make any predictions. Just kind of go with it.
The upset king.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
he loses to like some Jurio guy who comes in, and the next day he beats like the Yusho contender and wrecks his whole tournament.
Something I will remember forever is him beating Takayasu on day 14, Wakataka Kage on day 15, setting up the Yusho playoff.
Mm-hmm.
He himself goes 7-8.
I know that if that's not a Shodai story, then nothing else is.
How does that happen?
This I don't know. Like
People
what
call him a
goes
chaos agent. I just believe he is the upset king. He will win when you don't need it.
he
When your favorite guy is on the verge of something, here comes Shodai
it's
with
like
4 losses in a row.
I know it's ridiculous. I watch him in
Hurts.
I watch him in complete terror sometimes because I'm like, what are you gonna do? Like, are you gonna mess with something I like? Oh man. Me Takayumi is streaky. I love him, but I see more losses in the immediate future. He's having a bad one right now. Another win for the pullers. I think we're due for a good Hanka. I'm feeling Toki Hayate hitting Endo with one to spoil his perfect record. Well, I could see that, especially from Toki Hayate.
Would be
And
funny.
so then that means it's good, right?
It's true. That's no, it's not good. The rule is you can do it. You can't do it at any time. You can only do it when it's funny.
So that would be
That's when you're allowed to. Roger Rabbit could not have broken out of those handcuffs at any time. Only when it was funny was he allowed to get out of the handcuffs. Same for the Henka.
there. You go. That's the new stance that I'm taking. I'm copying this one. JJ says Onosato and Daisho are looking so damn clean this boss show. And Monster says, I was sure Toki Hayate would be tumbling down to Jurio, but he has been on a roll the past few days, going from 0 wins on the first 4 days to beating Churananumi and Ruden. How? And then we're going to get into some pulling sumo. Pulling sumo is good
How? Maybe he's good at sumo.
Yeah. Maybe he just had like sort of a slow start. I mean, you really can't count anything in the first week. The first week means practically nothing, but yet it does. But some guys, like, you'll forget by the end of the tournament that they had a rough start.
It puts more pressure on than you realize. Because if you're only going to win 10 matches and you win 8 of them straight up, your second week looks terrible. But you haven't exactly fallen off. 10 matches is a lot.
Mm.
It just alters your perspective.
Yeah, I guess that's true. And momentum's pretty much the whole thing. Oh my goodness. Okay, pulling sumo is good if you are Takekeisho and you include it in pushing to make a rhythm, then pull back and slap down at the perfect time. Well, that's true. He's definitely used that many times. I hadn't even thought of that. Here I am making fun of pull sumo, but Takekeisho's definitely been doing that a lot lately. I should rethink my stance.
It's possible. Pull sumo is good because I do it.
You're right. My bad.
I look at the whole world through this lens.
Whatever I do is good.
Exactly.
It's fair. I mean, why if you didn't think it was good, why would you do it?
Do you think sumo's good?
Yes.
Do you think sumo's good?
Yes.
I do sumo. It's good.
Okay. Fine. You're pretty good at making the standards here. I'm gonna have to make a written
surprising
list.
What you can get. It's surprising what you can get away with when you're funny.
It's all about that. Okay, so Ryuden was looking good today. He just didn't do anything and let himself get beaten. That seems kind of like an oxymoron.
Yeah.
But anyway.
The problem with being a tall guy like Ryuden but not being as strong as everyone else is that it's very easy for people to get under you. And if your shoulders are lower than your opponents, it's an uncomfortable place to be. Toga Hayate, 178 centimeters versus Ryuden's 190. Would have been a pretty uncomfortable Tachi for him and him struggling from there on out. That's what I would say.
That's some of that insider commentary from someone who actually does it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Thank you.
Most of these sumo wrestlers are not as tall as Ryuden. So that's for sure. Is he?
Nah, he's up there. He's like 6'2".
I was gonna say he's like he's closer to your height, so you would know.
I am 6'1", but thank you.
Hey, 6'1", 6'2", and they're all the same. Everyone is at least.
I don't know what an inch is.
Listen, everyone's at least a foot taller than me, so once you get into the 6 feet, it's like, yeah, I don't. Everybody's tall. It's good. I don't know how tall you are.
Glimpse the sky. Don't worry about it. Fair enough. I saw a 6'4" woman at the shops earlier. That was awesome. It's like, goddamn, you giant! What are you doing here? Gotta stomp the mountains or some shit.
Well, I have a very good friend, and he is 6'8".
Wow.
So when he stands in the 6 feet part of my pool, his shoulders are above the water. It's freaking nuts.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome. So I do know somebody who is 6'8". It's pretty cool. Anyway, maybe he should be listening. Let's see. I agree. I was putting too much hope in Toki Hayate, but I wasn't putting too much hope in Toki Hayate, but I've been pleasantly surprised. JJ has got at least 3 opinions, probably 4, if he thinks about it really hard. And I think you might have given us.
Hayate does have the advantage of everyone in top division has usually versed the people around them a fair bit, and they're comfortable with it. The new guy kind of has that advantage where it's like, this is the first time I've ever seen you. What can you do?
Right.
The best example of that is Takara Fuji versus Kota Nawaka, where Kota Nawaka very stupidly made the mistake of meeting him honestly front on, and then got hit with that 230 kilo bench press shove, and was like, "What the hell is this?" He just gets stumbled out.
He got knocked. I
guarantee you, the next match is, yeah.
I was gonna say he got knocked into the next dimension.
It was crazy because that dude never trips.
I know. Oh,
so that could be part of Toga Hayate's advantage right now. This is his first time up here. I think he's had first time matches with everyone.
Yeah, that's true.
If not, it's close to. I'm seeing a lot of 1-1s, 0-1s.
And it takes at least.
And then only the Juryo guys.
Right, it takes at least, I don't know, 3 or 4 matches before you really figure a guy out, too.
Yeah. In practice, you have like 20 matches against each other, and you're still adapting halfway through.
Right.
And that's what the experience you gained on that day.
Right, exactly. And you might not see the guy again for a while, so you kind of got to feel it all out again. I got to change this.
True.
Okay. We're going to get through these comments, I swear. Okay. Tobizaro Fusen win. This is the start of something. I feel it. Mitch, earlier you were talking about best matches, and I think Churana Umi versus Roga needs a mention. I need to do a poll, so I'll take all of these later and figure that out. Churana Umi versus Roga was insane, or is it the blessing of Churana Umi? I agree. Roga pulled like 3 spins against Churana Umi. Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit earlier. And then JJ says, true, that said, Takakeisho looks tired after climbing onto the dohyo, and he's been Ozeki for 4 years. Takakeisho, he's always out of breath. I don't know what to say. I will add that he has a problem with his nose. Did anybody know that? So he cannot breathe through his nose like everybody else can.
He's like a pug.
Yeah. What can you... I mean, he might be out of breath, but he still wins. That's all I'm going to say. He shouldn't have been a sumo wrestler. He should have, like, done karate or judo or something. He could have been world champion. He's just too short.
No, he's perfectly sumo sized.
Well, yeah,
he's not too short. He's actually at exactly the right height.
Well, it's not the height. It's
his style of...
It's the height with the weight. Like, just from a standpoint of his body breaking down.
That's what that's where the injury is coming from for the sumo itself.
Yeah.
He is just the right height to be pushing from underneath and just heavy enough that his height doesn't hold him back. He's almost got a perfect sumo body.
You are completely right about that, which is why I think he, has been so strong and won for so long. But I think he's going to have a really rough life after sumo because of how much he's fallen apart.
Don't they all?
Yeah, true.
Fuji is currently built from spare parts, but he's Ford tough, baby.
That's true. Mitch says, I don't disagree, but I feel very strongly about my pick, which I'm not... Oh, about what was the best match. Daisho faces Onosato today. If he can win that one, he's gotten over his most difficult hump. Well, that's for sure. If anybody beats Onosato, they can just kind of cruise the rest of their tournament on a high, because that's really the man to beat. Daisho was the greatest second pick for Fantasy Sumo I've ever done. I missed all of the Fantasy Sumo this time around. I, just forgot. Didn't sign up for anything. I'm completely out of the loop.
The Fantasy Sumo that we are running in our Discord?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. So for the first time, I implemented, if your guy loses, that's a negative point, not a 0. Because I thought it'd be funny if some people ended up. So we've got one guy who's sitting on 10 wins after 7 days. Some people subtract him. He's got one guy that's giving him -1. This one guy picked Kirishima and Takakeisho.
Oh, that was so cruel.
He got the dark clean sweep 3 days in a row. The day after that, he only got 1 win. The day after that, he only got 1 win. First place is on 10 wins. Last place is on -18.
No one's ever going to do your Fantasy Sumo again.
Well, we call it Domination League, because everyone else is like, oh, you can repick, because it's like Kashi Clash, or you can swap guys out, or you can pick other... No, you hit a win. Anyone who's ever complained to me, I just tell them pick better.
Oh, my goodness. Wow, that's a tough league you're in.
Call it Domination League, baby. To be fair, the most unfortunate one, despite that, is someone picked Asanoyama, who pulled out, so he repicked Terano Fuji.
Oh, well, that wasn't a smart move, though. Because you had to know Terano Fuji was not going to finish this tournament.
Pick better. There you go.
So now we're... Okay, we're at Kitashima questions. How do we feel about Kitashima next time around now that we know it's going to be an Ozeki-Waki tournament? We kind of touched on this already, but if he's in good...
Shit sucks, man.
Yeah, if he's healthy, he'll be fine, but spinal cord injury sounds bad.
He did 13-2 Yusho a year ago.
Yes.
If he's where he needs to be, 10 wins is absolutely possible.
Yeah.
Someone ain't right.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't looked like a guy who can win 10. That's for sure. JJ says Onosato was the first best pick I ever had. Well, that was a good pick. Anybody who didn't pick Onosato made a mistake. Kyokai's favorite. Injuries my guys and the... What? Kyokai's favorite. Injures my guy and then the scandal. Onosato is going to be my new guy to hate on for sure. Oh, yes. We have some serious haters in here. So, Monster's going to hate on Onosato now. This is good.
Good for him.
Yeah, you got to have the haters. It's good. Crying in my Chanko, Mitch. Onosato, Ozeki, and Aki, definitely. I'm going to tell you, I'm a little hesitant to pick anybody for anything anymore because the injuries are out of control. I think they need to put back injury protections. I really do. Because...
Nope.
I knew you would say that. But who's going to be left? I mean, this is crazy.
This is the only sport that does this.
I know.
Should have taken up boxing.
Should have taken up boxing.
Should have taken up MMA, where John Jones gets to take 4 years off and then comes back and wins the heavyweight title.
Okay, that's...
With no interim, with no goddamn qualifying number one contender, just gets straight given it. And then, this is absolute mockery of the sport, too. Wins it? Like, who's the guy that had the belt that beat a guy that was on the couch for 4 years? What makes sumo part of why I love sumo is that the Yokozuna stands atop a mountain of corpses. Like, the amount of guys... No one cries for the guys in 4th division that never made it and then got their knee broken anyway.
True.
It's only the guys that you felt like could have climbed everything but didn't quite get there.
Well, it's almost poetic the way you put it.
It's... Look, the thing that bothers me, because, like, I'm pretty aware of, like, recoveries and injuries and stuff like that. My brother does, like, physio-type work. Exercise physiologist, it's called, specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I am aware of the healing process. I understand how bad injuries can be. Sumo is pain. They have 90 matches a year.
I know, it's crazy. And then all the practice, too.
Amateur sumo is a lot lighter on you if you don't want to have to do the banzuke. But the banzuke is the most interesting thing in sport to me because of that. Because if you're not there, you lose.
Well, I mean, you make a compelling point here. I still sucks, okay? Can people stop getting injured? Like, this injured?
Yeah, you're right.
Come on,
I'm not
man.
saying you're wrong.
I'm
not saying you're wrong.
It sucks, man. You get really excited about a guy, and he's like, oh, sorry, shoulder. Oh, sorry,
I fell in love
Achilles.
with Wakatakagage, okay? I know what you're going through.
I fell in love with Tomokaze. You weren't even around for that disaster. Did you know that guy, like, didn't, like, have Maki Koshi for, like, 20 tournaments or something? He was, like, the next great hope.
I've seen that it took him longer to get through 3rd division the second time around.
Yeah.
And that's kind of heartbreaking. I get it.
You won't let me rant about injuries.
I will, but you're wrong. The thing that you're missing, there's no light without darkness, okay?
Okay.
Terunofuji making Yokozuna after the injury is a story that people will be telling forever.
True.
He actually went back to 6th division, then all the way up to Yokozuna.
True. This is true.
It means something, doesn't it?
It does. I really can't argue at that point. And I refuse to argue at that point.
It means a lot more. It means a lot more when you look at Tomokaze, who couldn't pull it off. When you look at Mitake Yume, who almost got there. When you look at all these other guys, you know?
When you look at Takakeisho, who's not making it to 30 in sumo, that's for sure.
Yeah, I believe it. I don't want to admit it, but I believe it.
Yeah.
I like him a lot, too, and I haven't seen him do sumo in a while.
I don't want to talk. I gotta get off that topic because now I'm feeling depressed and I want to feel happy. Okay.
That's my main takeaway from that. There's no light without darkness.
All right, fine. We're going to put that on the quote list. All right. Mitch says, I can't hold this in anymore. Can Onosho do Onosho things and deposit Tobizaru into the cheap seats? You really couldn't hold it in.
Splash zone.
Yeah, he wants Tobizaru to go tumbling through the fans and like create a path. I mean, he wants
Look,
it.
me too.
Well, we'll see if Onosho can pull it off. Which for you will be like in a couple of hours, and for me, also a couple of hours, but when I wake up.
Oh, I gotta go to work soon. Shit. There's a basho on.
Yeah, you do. All right, let's try to. All right. I'm sorry, guys. I promise you that I will get through all of your comments when we do the live streams next week. This is a little different because we have a guest, so we have to just kind of deal with it. Usually, I am the only one talking, and so I have to have things to talk about.
I'm the focus today. Me. All me.
So here's what I'm going to do. Nobody get mad. I'm going to jump to the bottom of the comments. And then next week when I do the live streams by myself, I'll make sure to read everybody's comments so nobody get offended. Okay. I'm going to just skip through a couple and read the ones that I think are really good, like this one, because I have a comment to make about this one. Not sure what's up with Midori Fuji. I thought he looked fine, but he's just not winning. Because Midori Fuji's trying straight up sumo right now. When he doesn't do his katatsukashis, he does not win. It's just the way it is. It's always been that way.
This all day. Why is he doing honest sumo? He's the smallest and lightest guy there, and he's like, I'm just gonna stand in front of you. And he's pushed people out doing it. That's the crazy bit.
I know.
But it's like, dude, it's time to give it up. It's not working.
Go back.
Unless this is like some crazy strategy for him to go like, I'm just gonna have an experimental one, drop down to M12, and go 13-2.
Right. I mean, he can't keep katatsukashi and surprising people. So maybe he's like, I'm going to do straight up sumo. And then they won't know when it's coming next. But it's like, dude, just leg pick then. Pick another trick because they're overpowering you.
He's been doing sumo like Mitaka Yumi, and it's really interesting.
Yeah, it is. Because he's so small.
Like, from a TV product, it's fascinating. Because, like, is he really going to do it again? He did?
Right.
It's very fascinating.
Especially when he pulled it off against Hoshoryu. And even Hoshoryu had to laugh. He literally, like, had the biggest smile on his face when he got caught with it. It's like, this is ridiculous. Okay, let's see. I remember when people were saying Mitaka Yumi versus Takekeisha would be the last match for years to come. I know I'm very disappointed that rivalry completely fell apart because Mitaka Yumi completely fell apart, but that was actually a really good rivalry for a while.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun when those guys were on top of it.
Yeah, and Mitaka Yumi and him were fighting for Yushos, and you didn't know who was going to win, and they were in each other's head. Like that was a nice one.
I didn't get to see the Mitaka Yumi Sekiwake days, but looking at the numbers, that's some stuff right there.
Oh yeah, he used to be like the man, and then he got to Ozeki.
He is the greatest Sekiwake.
Yeah, no, there's no question.
This is second-hand information, so trust me completely. He has more wins at Sekiwake than any other Rikishi.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, he's the Sekiwake.
Wow. Mr. Sekiwake. That is his new name. And then, let's see.
JJ, who's Mr. Jurio 4 while we're at it? That's another fun one to bring up. Carry on there.
Okay. I'm trying to skip around, guys. Sorry. There's some Shishi comments. I'm indifferent about Shishi. Kind of seems like one of those all-size.
Oshoma. Speaking of Mr. Sekiwake, I believe that Oshoma is Mr. Jurio 4.
Mr.
2023 March, Jurio 4 West, 8-7. Goes to Jurio 4 East, 7-8. Stays at Jurio 4 East, 7-8. Stays at Jurio 4 East, 8-7. Gets bumped up to Jurio 3. Ooh, that was a bit risky for him. Jurio 3 is a little bit heavier. 6-9. Drops down to Jurio 5, 8-7. Comes back to Jurio 4. His home, 11-4. He's out of Jurio.
Wow. That is crazy.
He spent 4 basho in a row at Jurio 4.
Oh my god. That is weird. That is seriously weird. And isn't 4 an unlucky number in Japan? I'm pretty sure it is.
Yes, because it sounds like the word for death, which is she.
Yes, so that's not a good omen for him.
Talking about shishi.
Look at that. Monster thinks it's great that you. Monster thinks it's great that you hate Shishi because, Monster's a hater. I haven't seen
I don't
enough.
think because there's nothing to see. He's everyone hyped him up as the next big thing. I watched him go 9-6 at Jurio 12, 9-6 at Jurio 8, 6-9 at Jurio 5, and then he's just floating in Jurio. And like he's not getting better. He's currently 2-5. Like who's he beating that matters? No one. He
No
beat
one.
Shirakuma. He beat Akua. He beat Mitoryu. Maybe like he's lost to everyone else.
Maybe he's gonna have a second wind.
Okay, he beat Wakatake Kage when Wakatake Kage went 9-6 off a broken leg. That's the best he's got. I know he beat Takara Fuji. That's the biggest name he's ever beaten.
I'm iffy on
She
that one.
stinks.
We got a couple of comments here about the whole injury thing. So for Kyujo injury protection, they should fall for the first couple of 0015, then freeze their spot so we don't have Ozeki re-entering at Jonidan. Instead, they would re-enter at a competitive spot. What do you think of that?
Yeah, but then you could just fake and take time off for injury. Oh, am I losing already? I'm out. It's like, oh, am I not having a good one? Could I maybe try a little harder? I'm out.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you still would drop. You'd still drop out of your spot, like if you're a top guy. Like you think?
Yeah, but if you're not there, it should count as a loss.
Fair. Mitch says he's more interested in restructuring the Kabu system, which I don't even know how you would start there.
There's also been probably a lot of scandals in the past with injuries.
Oh,
Because
there
I know there
has.
is a great story with Asashoryu where he put in like I only need 2 months off for like spinal or something like that. And then like a week later he was caught on Mongolian TV playing soccer.
Oh no.
So it's
Oh god, once
he got in
again.
trouble for that.
Once again, Asashuryu in the middle of wrecking things for Sumo.
So
Oh,
it's
man.
possible they've been burned by stuff like that, where it's like, no, if you're hurt, screw you. Don't
Right.
get hurt.
Now everybody gets hurt, and you just have to deal with it. Some people say, well, JJ says less sumo, but a good middle ground between amount of time of sumo and recovery. So I think some people are saying like less traveling tours in between. Monster is saying, no light without darkness. What is this, Kingdom Hearts?
Yin and Yang specifically, but I like the way you talk.
Don't lower the dohyo to prevent injuries. Let more squishy people sit closer to the cushion the fall. We could do that.
Get 4th division in there. Give him ringside seat.
Tell all the attendants that they have to lay under under the ring, and so if anybody falls, they fall on top of them. That'll solve the whole bullying scandal. Raise the dohyo, make it even taller. Okay, airbags. There's another suggestion.
To be on the raised dohyo point, I don't know how real it is, but I was talking with Minaminashima, who's a retired 3rd division guy, and he says he prefers the raised dohyo because it gives you time to like see that you're falling and prepare for it, rather than just like hitting the ground.
Huh.
So he said it was safer, but I don't know how real that is. Because mathematically he's wrong. But there's more in it than just straight statistics, you know?
Well, yeah. But you got to ask yourself, if you're pulling a throw, is it more dangerous if you're falling off elevation or flat ground? I mean, that's where it's
Hard
really...
to say.
That's where it's really serious.
I still remember Terunofuji putting Kirishima in the corner and then putting his hand on his throat and aiming for the concrete. And that's the most scared I've ever been watching sumo.
Ooh.
So,
yeah, and there was a couple, I think it was last year, there was a couple of really bad spills right off the top, and I thought like we're going to have unconscious people on the ground, and they got back up.
oh, Kim Bozon, yeah.
Yeah.
That just about snapped his neck.
Yeah, I
That
don't
was a bad one.
It must be the training that helps them.
Ura brained himself as well. That was another one.
I don't know
the thing
how
is, they train on a flat dohyo.
Yeah.
So it's a different game once they're competing.
Yeah, I don't know the
But
situation.
this is very noticeable. The Shimpan, because of the height of the dohyo, do get to sit eye level with the ring, and that matters a lot for the Shimpan ing, whatever you call that, judging.
Yeah. That
So
that's a fair point. It'd be harder to
hard call
see.
to make. Former pros have said it's better. I personally don't like it, but as far as like the visual TV product goes, it's awesome. It's really cool. I like the raised area.
Oh yeah. For as far as we're concerned, it looks great. So, you guys risk it.
Yeah, get amongst it.
I really don't have an opinion on it. I wish I did, but I don't. Because I just don't know. I mean, the one guy
Yeah,
who died in the ring, he died in the ring. He didn't die from falling out of the ring. So it's like it's
yeah, he got
dangerous.
his face thrown at the dirt.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
dangerous no matter how you look at it. Like the sport
it's a combat
itself.
sport. Sometimes they die.
Yeah,
It's you going out there to fight.
yeah.
That's I love sumo kaboom to bits. Don't get me wrong, but like the way they talk about injury, it's like, yeah, that's a bunch of 50-year-old ladies that have never fought in their life. I understand.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to sit back and, make an opinion about something that you're not doing, I suppose.
It's the standing atop a mountain of corpses thing again. It's like the glory is so much more because of what everyone who's with you has had to go through.
Yeah, that's a good point. And like you said, without all the adversity, it just doesn't mean as much. It really doesn't. I mean,
Yeah.
hockey in America's gotten pretty lame because they got rid of the fighting. And they got rid of a lot of the ways that you can hit and things like that. And it's like, it's not the same sport anymore. Yeah, guys are getting less
Apparently
hurt.
NASCAR's kind of going through a similar thing. Like attendance has gone down as like car safety has gone up.
I don't know if we're just sick, twisted people or if we just really, in life, humanity needs a little danger.
Every time people bring that up, I like to remind them that the Coliseum still exists. Like you can go and look at that.
Yeah?
That's
Yeah.
just who we are as people.
Yeah.
Violence is violence is what motivates us. People have been going to war forever, as
True.
long as we've been able to pick up sticks.
True. And sports were a way for us to like channel that aggression in a more civil way.
Yeah, war's kind of frowned upon, so we had like the Rugby World Cup and stuff like that now.
It's like I gotta get my anger out. I gotta compete.
Yeah,
I gotta show something.
yeah that's a whole conversation, but uh, people that try to pretend that they're above violence kind of frown upon because it's like it's a large part of being like a creature on Earth, not just a human.
Oh yeah, no, it was funny because I saw a friend who I hadn't seen in a while and she had such a distaste in the fact that I was doing karate. I couldn't understand it. She's like, "Why are you doing karate?" I'm like, "Because I like to fight." But why? I don't know. I just like to fight. I can't
It's not
tell you.
something that has to be explained.
Yeah, it's like
I'll give you this then. Hitting stuff is fun.
hitting stuff is fun. I don't want to hurt somebody,
Hitting
but
stuff is fun.
I don't want to. I'm not out there hurting people, but it's like an aggressive game of tag. I want to see if I can get you.
Yeah.
Which by
It's like
the
the people that don't do it don't understand it until they're
right,
there, really.
and they would have fun if they tried it. They would.
I think most people would, yeah.
It pulls something out of you that you don't even know is there.
There's something so beautiful about when you're versing someone who's just that little bit better than you, and you are going like all out to try and match them and making them work for it, and now they have to like go all out against you. And there's it's that moment of just thoughtlessness where it's just the fight that exists. Now you can't even see the walls around you. It's
Yeah,
this beautiful little thing, and nothing else matters more than that to me.
it's true. In that karate tournament that I did, not enough people signed up, so my first round was against a very talented black belt. And
Right.
I looked around and I'm like, I have to fight a black belt? I've only been doing this for 10 months. They're like, sorry. And she beat me, but I got one awesome point on her and I'll never forget it. She did
Nice.
not she did not expect it and it was solid. And that's what I live for.
Nice. We
But
love
anyway,
fighting.
fighting is great. That's all I can say. Ooh, this is a good comment. On a more wholesome note, my mom has been watching Grand Sumo highlights with me every day. Yes, get your mom into sumo. I highly encourage. This is great.
Agree.
Frank, frankly, the world these days is too idealistic for its own good. Can't fix all the danger without changing the sport entirely.
Yeah, there's for all the changes that you can make to make it better, the Tachi is still just a giant headbutt sometimes.
Yeah, and
Like, what do you
everybody,
do?
right? Everybody's getting neck injuries, so you flat dohyo, not flat dohyo, they're crashing in each other like cars.
That's why I love it.
Yeah. JJ says Roller Town was one of the best experiences I've had in a long while.
Roller Town was so much fun.
Is the
Just
video
getting to
still up?
compete in the tournament. Yeah,
Yeah.
the archives are still up on Dallas Sumo Club on YouTube.
Everybody
Uh,
watch it.
I was getting I was getting mad frustrated because I was losing matches. I was going up against people I had no business versing. And then like on my after 5 losses in a row, I pick up this one beautiful win against Matt Lan, where I go for the pickup. I didn't quite get it, so I just toss him to the ground with an Uwatanage. And just that moment of sitting there was like all the struggle I went through for this one win is like it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Glad I'm here.
The adrenaline from that
It was
one
a
win.
beautiful moment.
Um,
And of course, being the martial art nerd that I am, I made it look like it was nothing. I walk back and I bow out, even though I'm screaming on the inside.
you got to play it cool.
Yeah, yeah, like quick bow. I'm going. Thank you. It's like holy shit! Did you see that?
So, okay, couple of other comments based on things we were talking about. Whenever you gotta go, let me know because I know you gotta do your show. But Mitch says I did some homework. The Asashuryu injury ordeal was in late 2007. The Kosho system was removed at the end of 2003, so he ended up getting suspended 2 tournaments because of that.
Wow.
Huh. I'm
Yeah,
see.
so that's maybe why they're.
I was not around for Asashuryu, so I missed all of his stuff.
Yeah, I never saw him either. I just started watching him about 2 years ago.
When did I start watching? 2018. So that's 6 years ago? Yeah. Wow. Okay. I feel old now.
Sumo's so cool.
Sumo is so cool. So, I know it's early, but Habob Gob wants to know who's your Yusho pick.
Oh, come on, man.
This is what we do.
Like,
you have to do it.
yeah, but like Hoshouri's 4-3 right now. Takakesha's gone. Terunofuji's gone. Asaniyama's gone. Kirishima's gone. It's like Onosato. There.
That's the safe
It's gonna
pick.
come down to Daisho Ura.
Daisho
There you
Ura? Okay. I'm gonna.
Takara Fuji's gonna come back on day 15 with a steel chair and steal it, and then we're going to WrestleMania.
Awesome. I hope that happens.
I'm happy for it. Yeah, Yusho, it's Onosato, Daisho, or it's definitely those two, and then like
Yeah.
a sneak third one. Shononumi is gonna fall off. Ura could, and Takara Fuji's gonna fall off. It comes down to Onosato, Daisho.
We still have Mitake Yumi in the mix, and we still have Meisei hanging in there, but I don't see.
True. I forgot about him.
Yeah, I don't see Meisei winning it, but he could do something interesting. He could affect the outcome.
May say John Yusha
That'd be awesome.
with,
I
with an
love
upset
it.
over Mitake Yume,
Uh,
which has already happened. He beat him. Yes, I'm a genius.
you've already called it.
I can see the past.
I can see the mess. Mitch says, I'm just going to go with whoever's not Kyujo on day 15 for the U show. I think that's probably
Smart.
the smartest pick. We still have more days for people to get hurt. I'm knock on wood after saying that.
Daisho going 13-2 and getting Sekiwake 1 East would be beautiful.
I could root for that. Daisho is always in my heart because of his relationship with Takekeisho. He could like
That
kill somebody in the
I
ring.
love that so much.
It's the best. I love it. And
I've said it to you before, but like if I was to walk through someone's house and see Taki Keisho and Daisho sitting down playing FIFA on the couch, I would feel better about my life. It's like, you know what? I ain't that. But those boys could beat the absolute snot out of me at any given opportunity.
they
So
would just
it's
look
like
at you. They would just look at you together and be like, "We going? All right, let's do this."
the presence alone would intimidate me. Because it's
Habob
like they look
Gob.
like such looks, but we love them.
Habob Gob said, "Don't forget about Koto Zakura," and I think we did.
We forgot about Koto Zakura.
That's terrible.
Um,
We totally forgot
five
about
and
him.
two. He's only one off the pay. I think it's because he hasn't won anything yet.
Yeah.
Like this is a real good chance for him. All the absolute top dogs are gone, and he has done back to back Jean Yu shows with the 13-2.
Mm.
5 and 2, which means 13-2 is still possible. So he has to win for the next 7 days in a row. But he's lost to Daisho, who's ahead of him, and he's lost to Onosato, who's ahead of him. That's a bit of a pin in that balloon.
Yeah.
The
Doesn't seem
two
like.
people that we said are gonna win it have already beaten him. So
Yeah. He's still not ready for prime time. He should be, but he's not. And
yeah.
and Mitch, we have seen some shrimp bowling actually, haven't we? No, we haven't. Mitch calls the shimpan shrimps. So he hasn't seen much shrimp bowling lately. Somebody bowl over Hidayama Oyakata. I need to be entertained. Well, we'll see. There's plenty yet to go.
Yeah, true. Daisho was trying to avenge Takakeisho and get his spot back. That man said vengeance.
He's like, I got this for you, man. It's like an anime relationship. I love it.
There was one like that when Midori Fuji went 10-0 on the same basho that Terano Fuji dropped out.
Yes.
And I just love the idea of him coming back to Isagahama where it's like, hey, this is ours, right? I thought I'd pick it up for you on the way home.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. It's
Daisho doing that for Takakeisho could be pretty fun.
he like goes back after every match and he's like, okay, this is what I did today. What's the plan tomorrow? All right, this guy, I want you to trip him. Do an Ashitori leg pick. He'll never see it coming. Apparently, Kimura Shonosuke has called Koto Zakura Koto no Waka like 3 times already.
Yeah, I'm taking some time to adjust as well. Spoon Thief has been referring to him as Kazakh, and that's eventually going to turn into Borat for me because Kazakhstan, Kazakh, Kodazai is just a whole. I can see it happening slowly. But,
Yeah.
I'm nervous. I don't like the name Koto Zakura because, as you know, the legend Hitori Zakura has that in there as well.
Yes,
And
that's
when
true.
I watched him lose on day one, it's like, oh no.
You've made a mistake. You shouldn't have changed your name.
And then I learned the story behind it, which was his Yokozuna grandfather said, "When you make Ozeki, you can have it." And it's like it's kind of hard to look past that.
Yeah, you kind of have to do it, but at the same time, it's like, man, that is a lot of pressure to live up to.
Not as much as Hakuoho.
Yeah, well, now poor Hakuoho may never even make it out of Jurio, so that was a smart move, Hakuho.
There's another kid that's had absolute pressure put on him as well. Sai Hakuho,
What?
which is some like 6'3" Mongolian teenager that
Wow.
Hakuho has found called, and he's named him Sai Hakuho.
Oh my.
And Hakuho means rising phoenix, and
Right.
Sai Hakuho means holy rising phoenix.
Oh,
That's some pressure.
that's some pressure. What is he doing? He's not thinking this through. These names, they're not going to work.
It's kind of looking like Hakuho as a coach will not be a Hakuho the wrestler.
Yeah. I'm feeling that myself. And, first we had to deal with all the scandal stuff. But then, now just sitting there, hearing the stories and seeing what's happening to his guys, it's like, I don't think he's the coach he thought, like he thinks he is. He's making some very
Sandra
poor
keeps
choices.
saying Sandra keeps saying that he's messing up his boys and hurting them because like
Mm,
Enho is gone,
yep.
Kiho is gone. Um, some other stuff, his boys are hurt and not doing too well. And the
Well,
one guy he had that was doing well walked away for reasons we don't have to get into now.
well, if you ever see the training video online where he was training Enho and Ishiura, it was so brutal. It
The
was like,
30-kilogram backpacks,
yeah.
and they're just doing those diving wrestle squats with them. Oh my god.
Well, even the way like Takakeisha when he went on his first Yokozuna run, Hakuho beat the ever living snot out of him in those practice sessions, and Takakeisha's never been the same. So maybe there's something to it. Maybe he's a freak of nature body wise, and he just thinks everybody can take the same kind of punishment that he could.
Good
Uh,
point.
he's
It's,
he's killing his
there's a
own
lot going on.
guys.
Yeah, it's hard to figure out the inner workings of a foreign sumo stable in a language we don't speak, in a sport
Yes.
we don't fully understand. But I'm trying my best.
Yeah. I mean,
You can catch me on Salt City Sumo if you want to make me watch wild pontifications and just guess about everything and then just get it wrong anyway.
yes, I highly recommend Salt City Sumo. Nice English commentary from somebody who actually does sumo, so he knows what he's talking about. Um,
Yeah, let's go that far. Why not?
yeah, come on. Why not? It's the truth.
Sure. Just don't watch my performance at Roller Town if you're gonna catch me over on my show.
Well, what can you do if you thought you were overranked, right?
Yeah, I mean I was. I mean one of the guys I versed went 15-0.
Yeah. So, I
Just
mean,
gonna throw that out there.
is that really a reflection of how you fight?
Sure.
Guys, there are so many very good comments in here. I apologize that I've missed most of them. But now we are at past midnight. So for me, that means I'm not going to handle it much more. And for Goose, he still has a show to do in like, what, 2 hours? 3 hours?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a nap too because it's also the F1 shot at 11 at night, and I got work tomorrow.
I want to like copy all of these comments. I don't know if I can do that. And just like, I'm going to do it. All right, guys. I'm going to copy the chat log before I shut this down so that when I come back on the next live stream, I can address anything that we didn't address. Is that a fair thing to do? Because I feel like there's some good comments in here that I just cannot get to because I'm getting very tired. So let's try that.
Fair enough.
I gotta copy paste them before I shut this thing down or they disappear. So Goose, thank you for coming by. This was awesome. This was very fun.
Of course.
John and I
Happy to
are
have.
hoping to come on your show.
Yeah, you can. Door's always open for you. We're always looking for a guest. JJ's always looking to go to sleep because it is late where he is, and goddamn does that boy put in the effort for me, and I appreciate it.
Isn't he
He's
kind
up
of
late consistently.
Yeah, isn't he kind of in the same area that John and I are in? Sort of.
He is halfway through Canada, if that means anything to you. I
Oh,
don't have
okay.
the best map in my head.
Nope. Nope. Canadian time zone, different as well. Well, we'll see if that worked. I don't know if it worked.
Oh, let me send you the Australian daylight savings time zone if you want to get angry.
Oh, yes. Definitely.
Yeah. Carry on though, wrapping up the show, or
Yep, we're wrapping up the
what's
show. I'm just trying to do something here. If you feel like you need to just peace out, feel free. I'm just
Well, I'm kind of
messing
feeling
around.
awkward at the moment because I normally wrap up my own show, but now I'm waiting for you and you're not doing it, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, sorry. I like to make you feel uncomfortable here. Mitch, nice
Take a look at that real
try.
quick. Australian daylight saving time zones.
Did you just send it? Let me see. Whoa. Whoa. That is so. That's so crazy. No daylight savings time.
Half the country just goes, we're not doing that.
That's the smart part of the country, okay? Daylight savings
Thank
time
you.
is a pain. All right, I will
Thank
I will
you.
not make it awkward for you anymore. We're leaving. Goodbye. Good luck with your show. Guys, I did copy all of your comments, so next live stream will be Tuesday night, and we'll go over some stuff and whatever else craziness is going on. Thank you, Goose, for coming.
Just the description on your show just says special guest and nothing else.
I know, because I was in the middle of doing 70 things, and I didn't even finish typing. All my tags are
Fair
wrong,
enough.
too. They all say March, so I'll be up for another 20 minutes trying to fix everything in the video.
I appreciate you for it. All right.
All right. Have a good
I'm
night.
going to take a nap now.
All right.
Darling, if you're listening to this, I know you drive safe and all that. Okay, take care.
Peace out. Bye, guys.
Oh, that
Okay.
was fun.
Yeah, sorry. I'm a little, wild on the live stream.